My new book just came out today, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should consider reading it. Alright, my name is Nick. I am a unrepresented, unpublished writer who just does a self-publishing thing. And today my 5th book came out, and I think it's the best thing I've ever written, thing I'm most proud of. And I want people to give it a chance. And if I'm gonna get people, if I want people to give it a chance, I have to, put myself out there, which is not easy for me to do. But here we go. So, the book is called Mixed Up World. It's available on Amazon. I don't know if I meet the requirements. YouTube has a weird thing about putting the links in your description. But if I'm able to, I will put the link to it in my description. Otherwise, you'll have to look it up. But basically, to be honest, I personally think the best way to read this book, to experience it, is to go in blind, not knowing what it's about. But I also understand that reading a book is a commitment. It takes hours, It's not like asking you to listen to a song or look at a painting or even watch a movie, It's a commitment. So a lot of people are probably going to need something. If you go to the Amazon page, you can read a synopsis. And at the end of this video, I will add I will give a little synopsis for those who may need it. But I am going to leave it off the beginning because I really think the best way to go into this is blind. The first chapter specifically was written so that it kind of, to use a term someone who read an early version had to say, it's kind of like a punch in the face. And if you go in not knowing what it is, it's you're going to feel it more. That said, this is a very kind of unscripted video, so I apologize for all the ums and stuff. I'm not, a professional on-camera type person, so I'm doing the best I can here. But I don't want this to be a very long video, so I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think you should give this book a chance. Now, I'm not saying 3 reasons why you should buy and read the book. I want to make that clear. I am a big, I don't really like it when someone's like, buy my thing, watch my movie, whatever, without taking into consideration my personal tastes and preferences. Like, I'm honest, this is not for everybody. Like, if you read the synopsis or whatever and you're like, that's not really my type of thing, I get that. And so that's why I say give the book a chance. Not just go and buy it and read it. And also, please keep in mind too, the way, unfortunately I have to use Amazon to do the self-publishing. They just have the easiest thing to do. But the way it's structured, I don't even make $1 per book sold. So this isn't about making money. I put a lot of time and effort and work into this. And I'm really proud of it. And I just want to share it with people. I want people to give it a chance because I think it's worth the time for the right people. Again, it's not going to be for everybody. But with that in mind, let's get into these 3 reasons already, since we're at 3.5 minutes already. Reason number 1, this is plain and simple. It's an original story. It's not a remake. It's not a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a requel. It's not based on nor inspired by true events. It's not based on a novel. It is the novel. It is just something from my imagination that, I was laying in bed. This was 2023 in like the fall, according to my files. That's the oldest saved file in my files. File. According to my records, sometime in the fall of 2023 is when I thought of the idea. And, I write books for fun. This is my 5th book. And I have, like, a queue of, like, all, like, the different books I'd like to write, and they're kind of by preference. So I'm in the mood to write this or that. And normally, if I think of an idea, it kind of goes somewhere in the queue, but never in the top. When I thought of this, I just was like, I got so excited about it. And I started working on it that night. Like, I was in bed. I got out of bed, went to my computer, and I started... and I probably wrote, 10 or so pages of what eventually became the first chapter. Obviously, it was like rough. I just wanted to get the idea out. Then I pulled back and I had to spend time thinking about it. But it just skipped everything in the queue. And I just again, I put over 2 years into it. Never at any point was I like, I don't think this is a good idea. And every other book I've written, I'll have those moments where I kind of like, the self-doubt and all that stuff. With this one, I was always just like, I really like this idea, really passionate about it. When I shared earlier drafts with people, I got, positivity back, and I'm really proud of it, and I want people to read it, and I want it to be clear that it's its own thing. It's not based on, now, of course, it has influence, if I don't know if it's possible to write something in the 2020s without it being influenced by something you've read or seen or heard in the past. Of course, there's influences, but it's not based on or inspired by anything specific. And again, it's not sequel anyway. So, original story, we're not getting a lot of those when you think about Hollywood and the movies these days. So, I think the best place to get those is in books these days. So, take that into consideration. Okay. Reason number 2. This is going to be a short and easy one. 0 AI involvement in the creation of this book. That's such a point of importance to me. I even say it at the start of the book. No AI was used in blah, blah, blah. What are the exact words? I couldn't get it to come too clear. No AI was used in any aspect of this book's creation. Conceived, written, proofread, revised, all that by me. Got feedback from some preview readers. The cover, I used to work with a guy, graphic designer, who does cover art for metal bands on the side and stuff. I liked his artistic sensibility, so I recruited him to do the cover. All human, no AI, 0 AI. That is extremely important to me, and it should be extremely important to you if you're a fan of creativity. We need to get AI out of creativity. If you want to use AI to cure cancer and solve world hunger or whatever, go for it. Keep it out of creativity. All right. Nice, quick, and simple. Reason number 3 that I think you should give Mixed Up World a chance: 0 corporate involvement. That means there's no ads, no subscription service, no memberships, no obligation past initial purchase, no committee or focus group testing went into making it. There wasn't some CEO number crunching bean counter that was like, add more of this, take more of this, remove this, blah, blah, blah. This is just one person, independently, DIY style, taking something from in here and putting it here. We don't get a lot of that these days. For many years, I worked in corporate marketing. See that little trophy back there? It's called a Key Art Award. I got that for Anchorman 2 marketing campaign. Worked in movies, major movies, marketing, blah, blah, working for the major studios. And then for a couple years I did corporate marketing where I worked for corporations, and it's such a pain to work for those types of people, and they suck the true creativity out of anything. Again, going back to the movie trailers, best movie trailers I've ever seen are the V1s and 2s where it's just the editor just being a badass. And then it gets up to the suits, the whatever, bean counters, and they just suck the energy out of it, and they focus group test it, and none of that in this book. All right. And then no ads is something I mentioned. Let's be honest. I don't know about you, but I am tired of being bombarded with ads everywhere I look these days. Can't watch a YouTube video. Can't scroll Instagram. Can't even watch something on the streaming service that you pay for without being bombarded by ads. It's ridiculous. I am so tired of Jake from State Farm, the Capital One guy. I swear, next time I see a TurboTax ad, I might put my head through a plate glass window. I'm so freaking tired of it. And then, so you buy this book, you can read all 300 and whatever pages of it, and you will not once get interrupted by the Capital One guy, Jake from State Farm, Patrick Mahomes, who like that guy needs more money. Get off my TV screen. You won't get any of that. You get to just read the damn book. You get to experience the damn story, the damn content, the damn material, the damn creativity, whatever you want to call it. You get to experience that with zero interruptions. The only interruptions is if, your spouse walks into the room, or your kid walks into the room, or your boss walks into the room and has to talk to you, your phone rings, whatever. But you will not get just punched in the face with an ad. You also, it's a one-time purchase. Buy this book, you own it forever. You don't have to get a damn subscription service. You're not paying $15 a month to own this book. You don't get to just watch it once and then it goes away and then your money disappears too. You can read this as many times as you want. You can give it to your friends. You can give it to your spouse. You can put it in one of those free lending libraries. You can do whatever you want. You can throw it in the ocean. I wouldn't recommend that, though. It's bad for the environment. But it's yours. Actual physical ownership. Something that is going away. Clearly, I'm a fan of it. And that's just, I think we're getting, when it comes to, creativity, books, movies, whatever, everything is just getting so watered down and stripped down and corporatified and ruined, if you ask me. Nothing feels really that interesting anymore. We get things here and there, but it's just getting worse and worse, and this AI crap's gonna ruin it. Like, why not give a chance to someone that's just the passion of one person, just going for it and putting themselves out there? Again, just give it a chance. I'm not saying you have to read it, because it might not be for you. It's not for everybody, but it should be for some people. I firmly believe that, and you gotta give it a chance. Well, you gotta consider giving it a chance. Again, I don't like to be forceful, even though I am clearly passionate about it. I will say, going back to the more corporate involvement, there are two downsides to that. No professional editor going through it. I have to do all that for myself. So I'd be lying if I said there's not going to be a couple of points in this book where you read a paragraph and you're like, do we really need this paragraph? Or stuff like that. Like, I do my best. I'm not perfect, but that is one issue. And then the other one is no marketing. If I were going through the corporate writing process, there'd be a marketing budget, and my books would be in Barnes and Noble and stuff, and independent bookstores. But none of that. There's only one place you can get it, Amazon.com, which I don't love, but they're the best. From what I've found, if you're going to do the self-publishing, DIY thing, it's Amazon or bust, pretty much. So it is what it is. But remember, I make less than $1 per copy sold, so it's not about money. It's just about passion, creativity, art, trying to do something different, trying to do something fresh. And I really think that, people who like to read and like, unique, different, original stories, I really think you should give it a chance. Plain and simple. I really think you should give it a chance. With that said, as I wrap this up, I did promise that I'd give a quick synopsis at the end. So if you want to go in blind, like I think you should, you can cut the video pretty much now. But if you need the synopsis, I'll give a quick top of my head. I'm going to keep it kind of simple, but basically the idea of this, the premise of the story is that for no reason, just out of nowhere, like that, the consciousness of every single human being on the planet jumps into the body of someone else. So this is where, when I said there's influences, think of your body switch comedies, Vice Versa, Freaky Friday, the Freaky, which is the horror one with Vince Vaughn, The Change Up, movies like that where it's two people who are your life's easy, your life's easy, and then they switch bodies, and for a while they're like, oh, this is fun, I get to be somebody else, and then after a while they kind of miss their old body and their old life, and they figure out a way to switch back, and then they're all better for it, and it's a lot of comedy, and laughs are out of the way. It's that kind of idea, but instead of just two people, and for comedy, it's the entire world, and it's not a comedy, because if that happened to the entire world, it would not be funny. And it's also not one-on-one. It's I could be right here, and then I jump into the body of a 6-year-old in Japan, and the mind of that person in Japan jumps into someone in Russia, and then, so it's just people just jump into bodies out of nowhere, and it's just chaos, and the world goes to hell, but through the chaos, the people that we follow in the story kind of find ways to build new lives and build new societies, and we follow their journeys and the journey. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but and from a personal writing standpoint, what I love about this book, what was fun writing about, and personally, I think it's the best thing I've ever written. I think it's legit good. Although again, going back to the no professional editing, I know there's going to be some flaws, but I think I did my best. I put a lot of time into it. Normally, when I write a book, it's like 5 or 6 drafts. I went like to 12 on this. I think it was 11 or 12. So I did the rounds on it. I put the work into it. But what was interesting from a personal writing standpoint is I normally write kind of lighter. I like to have a little fun, bouncing around. There'll be some drama. There was obviously drama and conflict in the things I write, but when I thought of this idea and I started thinking about it, I was like, there's just really no way to write this without it being dark. So this is by far the darkest thing I've ever written. And I would say that, let's say best case scenario, I'm in my early 40s. Let's say I live another 40 years and, everything goes well and health and all that, the best case scenario. And let's say I stay with my pace of writing like one book every 2 years, right? That means I have 20 more books in me. I would be willing to bet right now that I will never write anything more dark than this. It's not really my style. No, who knows? I might come up with another idea somewhere, but I think it's most likely, in which that's also kind of what made it fun from a personal writing standpoint, kind of getting to explore a different part of my brain. Like how dark, how dark do I want to get? Do I really want to, in certain parts, do I really want to do this? I wrote the least fun I ever had writing something was this one part of one chapter where it was just like, it has to happen this way. This is what the story is telling me needs to happen. It's dark and it's effed up and it makes me cringe and feel wrong to write it, but it's what needs to happen for the story. So yeah, I don't know. That I'm proud of that, and we are over 17 minutes, and that's the synopsis I'm gonna go with. Keeping it simple, keep it light, still leaving some mystery in it for you. I will say this too: the book doesn't hold your hand. It may, you might be reading it and be a little confused, but if you put some thought into it and really read it, you'll understand what the point of the story is and purpose. But it does not hold your hand. With that, I'm gonna go out again. Mixed Up World, available on Amazon today, February 2nd. I'm actually recording this on February 1st, but I'm going to post on the 2nd, so I'm available now. I'd just consider giving it a chance, please. And, maybe you'll love it. Maybe you'll love it. You never know. All right. Take care.